Hello and welcome to this special Halloween episode of Retrospection, where we'll be picking 5 of our favourite movies to watch during the spooky season. Now obviously this is far too scary for my regular co-host Colin. He's off to sit it out in a brightly lit room and just wait until the whole holiday season's all over. He's probably in a bunker somewhere. But joining me on this trek through the undead netherworld will be regular contributor to this show, James. Hello.
Whoa. Contributor.
Well, what would you like to be called?
Guest star?
Guest star? Guest star?
Yeah.
Or do you want the and credit?
Yeah.
Alright. And James.
Hello.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pick 5 films that we like to watch during the holidays. Now, he is a newcomer to horror, being well. I mean, you've recently become of age where you can watch a lot more horror movies, aren't you?
Yes, I suppose so.
So you've caught up.
Yeah, but I'm still knowledgeable in the genre.
He's knowledgeable in the genre. Yes.
I'm knowledgeable in many genres.
He is. He's very cine literate. Probably more so than I am, I would imagine.
Well,
I taught him everything he knows.
Yeah.
So regular listeners will be familiar with James. He is, of course, a blood relation to myself.
Yeah, unfortunately.
There we go. And so what we're going to do is just going to run down 5 movies each and talk about why we like them. So, James, what's your first pick?
So, I've done my list in no particular order, so these are all just kind of, off the old noggin.
Yeah, I did the same.
Yeah. So my first pick is from 1978, and fittingly with this season, it is Halloween, directed by John Carpenter and starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasence.
So what is it about Halloween that you like?
Well, I mean, first off, it is pretty much the definitive Halloween movie, no pun intended. It jump-started the whole modern slasher genre.
Yeah.
And
I suppose Psycho started it, but I mean,
yeah.
Is Psycho a true slasher movie?
I mean, there are parts of it that are slasher, but I think it's more of like kind of a suspenseful thriller, horror film. And I mean, Michael Myers as a slasher himself is like probably the most iconic out of all of them. Yeah, I think all the characters in it are well written. The theme is probably one of Carpenter's best. And the fact that it was on a low budget as well, in a small suburban area, adds to the whole tone and feel of the film.
It certainly has that special look about it. It really does feel like, which is funny because it wasn't filmed during the Halloween season, was it?
No.
Didn't they have to paint leaves onto trees or gather leaves? or whatever?
Yeah. They had to kind of gather up leaves and just sprinkle them across the floor.
And they kept moving them around, didn't they, from shots? But it really feels like a funnily enough, a Halloween.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Experience, and to the point where sometimes, I mean, this is one of my favourite movies as well. It would have made my list if we didn't have a crossover on it. And sometimes in the Halloween season, I will find myself just walking down the street, and I will see all the leaves are brown and blowing across the street. And in my head, I can hear the music from when Laurie's being stalked at the beginning.
Even
of the movie.
Sometimes when like you're walking down the street and there's a bush, you just imagine like someone stood behind it and then quickly moving away.
Yeah. That's just your school, though, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, what can you say about Halloween that's not been said before? It is just the quintessential slasher movie, and I'm not a big slasher guy. I'm not a big slasher guy. No. It isn't my favourite horror genre.
No.
I'm quite picky about slasher movies, and I don't equate gore with horror.
Yeah,
to me.
Because I mean, gore doesn't necessarily make a film scary.
No.
Because if you think about this film, there's, I think, one scene with blood.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, this is the quintessential way to do a slasher movie, but not have to have blood and guts in it
exactly.
at all. Like, it still works.
Yeah, like most modern slasher films nowadays need to have a certain gore level in order for people to like it.
And I think that probably kicked in around, when things like Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Although Texas Chainsaw Massacre doesn't really have any gore in it.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre predates this film.
It does, and that doesn't have any gore in it either. No. But yeah, it's that 80s craze of slasher movies that started all the blood and guts. But this is... I would say that this is... If Psycho is the granddaddy, then this is kind of like...
This is like the dad.
The dad of horror movies. Of slasher movies, Yeah, good pick. I like it.
Yeah, that's my first pick.
So my first pick, I'm going to go all the way back to 1931 with Dracula.
Ooh. See, I was wondering which Dracula you pick.
Yeah. Oh, the ghosts are here.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I was going to include a Dracula movie because I love Dracula movies, and I sort of flitted around between the Hammer Draculas and even the Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Coppola version, which I really like. But to me, it all comes back to this universal... the ghosts are really here. It all comes back to this 1931 Universal version.
Yeah.
It's the perfect looking gothic horror, I think.
And I think a lot of the Universal, the way they designed their monsters, I think has kind of influenced pretty much everything to do with those characters.
Well, they're looks that are still around, aren't they? I mean, they get used from everything to toys, to breakfast cereals, to
animated
Muppets
films.
Yeah, to Sesame Street. They've got a vampire in there that's like Dracula. It's never not going to be around, this stuff. And it all started with this movie, really. The sets are amazing. Some of the moments in this film are sort of like ingrained to movie subconscious, I think. Dracula on those stairs is an iconic image. Renfield looking up the stairs on the ship when he's going crazy. That's another one that's burned into your mind. It's not the most elaborate movie. I mean, it's slow and it's got hardly any music score, and it's very oddly paced at times. It's not very well. No. There's a lot of empty space in this movie,
especially for a film that's only about an hour and 10 minutes
long. Yeah, but for me, all that adds to it's got kind of an otherworldly type quality to it. And then you've got Bela Lugosi. I mean, he's arguably the greatest Dracula ever put on screen, I think. And every version of Dracula takes something from Lugosi. Yeah. Even if they don't do the voice, they take something from it.
That's what most people do, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whenever you try and imitate Dracula, you will always do the kind of...
Go on.
This is my impression. What's the line? The one about the wolves.
Listen to them. Children of the night. But less northern. Go on.
Listen to them. How they make such sweet music.
Well, that's you did it wrong, but okay.
Close enough.
Okay. We're probably going to see other people. Yeah. But we'll call you, all right? We'll call you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, what's your second pick?
My second pick, interestingly, is also going back to 1931, and that is Frankenstein.
Oh,
directed by James Whale and starring Boris Karloff and Colin Clive.
So you didn't pick Bride of Frankenstein? I'm quite surprised at that.
No, I picked the first one because I feel like the first one has a much more haunting atmosphere in a way.
It's got that minimalist look about it, hasn't it?
Much like Dracula does.
Yeah, and I think it takes a lot from those sort of German expressionist films. I mean, it's got. I think both Dracula and Frankenstein owe a lot to Nosferatu in the look of it and the feel of it.
Yeah, and I think, Boris Karloff as the monster is just perfect. I mean, the first time you see him backing out of that doorway, and then he slowly turns around to reveal himself, I think that's just one of those horror cinema moments that is just ingrained in history.
Like what we were saying about Dracula. There's just moments that are always going to exist in your mind, aren't they? And that's one of them. Yeah. What do you think about there's no music hardly in this one.
That seems to be a theme with a lot of early Universal monster films.
I think it was probably down to the technology of the time.
Probably. It was the early 30s. So, because usually, if you think about it, in cinemas back then, they would have probably had a live orchestra at the front doing the music, which is what they did for a lot of stuff
in the silent era. So,
but it could have carried over into the early 30s.
I'm pretty sure that there were silent versions of particularly Dracula that were sent out because a lot of theaters weren't fitted for sound when Dracula came out. So whether this was the same for Frankenstein or I don't know, but
maybe.
What do you think about the performances? I mean, everyone talks about Boris Karloff. It's iconic. But Colin Clive's Dr. Frankenstein is...
he's the perfect amount of crazy for that character. For when it's alive!
Yeah.
You know, I think that's another line that's basically quoted everywhere to do with Frankenstein now.
It is. It is a... I mean, he was a very troubled actor, Colin Clive. He had a lot of issues.
Yeah.
But I think that probably ended up serving his performance a
Yeah,
little bit.
definitely.
And he is very manic.
Oh, yeah.
In it.
But I mean, he's supposed to be, because you think about it, someone who's trying to make a whole new person out of dead people, it's not exactly all there in the head. You know.
All right, I'll scratch that one off the list. I'm not... I won't be doing that next week then. Okay.
I also think it's quite a sad film as well, if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a villain. The monster isn't a villain.
If anything, he's misunderstood. He tries to be this... Because, I mean, he's a child mentally. He doesn't know what's going on, where he is, and he's just... Especially that scene at the lake with the little girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when she's throwing the stuff, and then he's confused, so he picks her up and throws... He's only doing that because he's trying to fit in.
Why does she not float as well?
Well, no.
Yeah, that's what he's thinking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a sad movie, and it's sad the way he ends up, but he does come back for about 4 or 5 sequels, so, you know.
And a crossover.
And a crossover, well, two, I think. Or 3, it might be 3, actually.
Well, it was what? Dracula, Wolfman...
Yeah, so they did. There's Host of Frankenstein, Host of Dracula, and then there's Frankenstein meets the Wolfman.
Yeah,
I think
it's like the early version of, like, say, a Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It is really the first cinematic universe that was created. Yeah. Oh, good pick. So my second choice is 1977's Suspiria. So you've never seen this movie yet?
I have not seen it, but I have seen you watch it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I've seen, about the first 5 or 10 minutes that you showed me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go off that.
For anyone that doesn't know what it's about, I know we haven't done synopsis for some of these movies because they're so iconic that I think everyone knows Frankenstein, Dracula, and all of those, and Halloween. But Suspiria is directed by Dario Argento, and it's basically an American travels to a prestigious German ballet academy. And then she comes to realise that something sinister is at the centre, and there's a series of grisly murders that happen in it as well. And it also stars Jessica Harper, who I know well from Phantom of the Paradise. Now, I'm a big fan of Dario Argento. I like his movies, and I'm a big fan of Italian horror movies in general. Yeah. But for me, Suspiria is Argento's best work.
I think from what you showed me, so the way he composites shots.
Oh, the look of the movie is the colours and the framing of it all. It's just it's out of this world. Some of the stuff that he puts on that screen, and if you watch it now in Blu-ray or 4K, it looks fantastic. It looks amazing. It's got a really strange vibe to the whole movie as well, and that's because of the way that he frames it, and also you've got that score by Goblin. It's kind of a weird, otherworldly electronic score. Goblin also did some of the music for... they do a lot of Argento stuff, but they did the music for Dawn of the Dead, the second zombie movie. And they also... one of the themes from... I think it's from Dawn of the Dead is used in Shaun of the Dead as well, and that's Goblin as well. And he builds a lot of the horrific moments. I think you saw me watching it once, and you saw the lead up to like one of the big kills at the beginning of the movie. The woman behind the window, and she gets pulled through the window.
Yes, I remember.
He just builds it just with the score and the colours and the way he shoots it in a kind of like dreamlike state. And it builds and builds and builds and builds, and then suddenly it's bam, straight in your face. It's a perfect film to watch on Halloween. It's a bit long. I will say, but a lot of Italian horror movies are just fantastic. I suggest that you go and watch a few Italian horror movies because they'll blow your mind.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of foreign horror films are sometimes better than the Western ones.
Yeah, because I think they're not so beholden to formulas.
No, and I think they can also kind of get away with a lot more stuff because of like censorships and stuff. It's not as
it's probably a bit more lax back then in the 70s and that. I mean, another director that I suggest to you as well I think he was a DP, and he was but he also directed some movies as well. Is Mario Bava.
Okay.
He made some great horror movies as well. Bay of Blood and Planet of the Vampires. That's a really good movie as well. And Black Sabbath.
Oh yeah.
He's one of the best ones.
Not to be confused with the band.
That's where they got the name from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my second pick. So what's your third?
My third pick is, and before I say this, so I said, Halloween is probably my favourite horror film of all time. But this is possibly my second favourite.
Okay.
And this is from 1922.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to go with Nosferatu.
The original?
The original. Directed by F.W. Murnau, I think I said that correctly. And starring Max Schreck as Count Orlok.
The way you said the director's name then, you did it like Bruce Campbell in Army of Darkness. when he's doing the Klaatu Brother.
Yeah, it's a silent film first off, so there's no dialogue, and the only thing that carries the film is the music, and I think it's just perfect, and it's a masterpiece. The way it's shot is, especially for 1922 as well, when all you had was just one camera in place and everything was going on around it. It's amazing how they managed to composite a lot of it.
Yeah.
Even though there's no like sounds or anything and it's just music, it's so just the visuals carry its horror, I think.
I think Max Schreck as Count Orlok is still one of the greatest screen vampires ever.
You have no idea that is a human being behind any of that makeup. And the shot where he's coming through that door and he's got his little T-Rex arms up, as he always does. I think that's probably one of the best shots in the entire film.
You remind me of him quite a bit.
Sometimes. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. How you say I look like a vampire freak. Thank you.
I also say you remind me of Michael Caine. So take what you will from that. You know, I don't know.
I think I prefer one over the other.
What do you? Because I think I know you've seen both the remakes of Nosferatu now.
Yes.
You've seen the 70s version, and you've also seen the recent one as well.
Yes.
Where do they rate on against the original for you then?
I don't know, because I mean the original will always be top for me, but I think I've seen the newest one a few times now. But I've only seen the 70s one once.
And you saw the dubbed version as well, didn't you?
And the dubbed version. I think the 70s one, even though I've seen it once, I think it slightly has a... I mean, it's weird, because the 70s one and the newest one, I think they're kind of neck and neck for me. Because there are parts of the 70s one that are better than the newer one, but there are parts of the newer one that are better than the 70s one.
Yeah, well, I think the director of the newer one, Robert Eggers,
Robert Eggers.
He stated that he took from various sources, and you can see it on screen. You can see that he took from the original Nosferatu, obviously, and he also took from things like Bram Stoker's Dracula and Hammer movies. But he also took a lot from that 70s version of Nosferatu, quite a lot from that as well.
Plus, I think in the 70s one, Klaus Kinski is... He's
a problematic character.
He's a problematic guy, but he's very good in that film, and his presence is...
You almost believe that he actually believed he was a vampire?
He probably did.
Yeah.
He did actually bite her for real, didn't he?
I think that was in the sequel, the loose sequel that was made years later, which is absolutely terrible. So it's probably the kind of thing...
There's no need for a sequel to Nosferatu.
No, but it's probably the kind of thing that I'll try and convince Colin to watch at some point for the show. It is a terrible film, but I would... If we were doing a top 10 instead of a top 5, I would probably have put the 20s Nosferatu in there as well.
I mean, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff of it that's quite interesting as well, because it was originally going to be an adaptation of the Bram Stoker's novel, but his wife stepped in and was like, can't be doing that. This is my husband's IP, so if you want to do that, you got to give me some money first.
I doubt she used the phrase IP in the 1920s, but go on.
But so they were just like, you know what? We'll just change all the names and keep the story the same, and it'll be fine. Because I think the title of Nosferatu is taken from the Dracula book, isn't it?
It is. It's an old Romanian word, I think. The fact that this movie still exists is amazing as well, because I think she ordered all the copies of it burnt, didn't she?
Yeah, and there were
because she won the lawsuit.
Yeah.
And I think it's just some industrious, I don't know...
Someone hid it somewhere.
Yeah, got a copy of it and stashed it away somewhere and saved it.
Probably in Germany.
I would imagine so. And the fact that it survived everything that happened in Germany all those years.
It is a German film.
It is,
originally.
Yeah.
But obviously it's been modernised so that it's in English now. Cards and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my number 3 pick.
Okay, so I'm going a little bit different with my next one. Horror comedy is really difficult to get right. But when you do get it right, it's amazing. And you can't get any better than 1984's Ghostbusters.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say that what it's about, because everybody knows Ghostbusters. Yeah. It's directed by Ivan Reitman. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson, Rick Moranis, Sigourney Weaver. What a cast.
I know.
What a cast.
Especially big names for the time as well.
Really, really. And as I said, it's really hard to get horror comedy right. Just ask Rob Zombie with you know, about the monsters.
The
you know,
film that shall not be named.
Although I kind of like that movie.
Yeah, but you're weird.
I know. But what can you say about Ghostbusters? It's not just a great horror comedy. It's a classic in any genre.
Yeah.
It's almost a perfect movie, Ghostbusters, when you think about it. It's definitely Murray and Aykroyd at the top of their game.
Oh, yeah. Well, Murray's always, even if he hates the script utterly, he's always at the top of his game in everything.
Like Scrooged, which he hates that movie, but he's amazing in it.
Yeah, and that is the best Christmas film.
It is the best Christmas film. And I think that Scrooged and Ghostbusters are his two best performances in anything, Bill Murray. And there's absolutely no filler in Ghostbusters at all. Every scene serves a purpose. All the comedy works. It's really, really funny. The spooky stuff works, like that the scene at the beginning in the library with the ghost. You know, I saw that on the screen as a kid. I was 10 years old when it came out. That freaked me out. That freaked me out. And bear in mind, I'd seen Halloween. You know, I saw it at 6 years old. The effects still look fantastic to this day,
especially when the two
creatures, the two dogs, the devil dogs. Yeah, they look amazing
when it comes out the fridge.
Yeah, and you watch it now, and you know, you think to yourself, how did they do some of this stuff? Because how did they do the eggs popping out of the thing and fry? I mean, if you think about it, you can work it out. You know, but it just looks great.
It would have taken a lot of work.
Yeah, and nowadays you just do it with CG. Yeah, as the modern Ghostbuster films have shown. But, you know,
as the modern films have shown, CG is sometimes not as good as practical.
I think with CG, there's always that thing that your brain knows it's not there.
Yeah. It's like that kind of uncanny valley.
Yeah, so even though it can look great, and it can be the most amazing CG in the world, your brain knows that is not real.
Yeah.
Whereas when you get a practical effect, even if it's like one of the sketchiest or shadiest pieces of rubber animatronics, it's still in that room with that actor.
Yeah, and it's believable.
Yeah. They might be punching it and it's bobbing around like a rubber thing, but it's still there and it's got weight to it, you know. But yeah, Ghostbusters. I mean, what can you say about Ghostbusters? It's just great. You like Ghostbusters, don't you?
Yeah,
the original movie.
Like the first one.
Yeah.
Second one, I'm not too keen on.
There doesn't need to have ever been any more Ghostbusters movies. Even the second one, really, doesn't need to exist. You know, I mean, a lot of people do like. It's been reappraised over the years. The second one.
It's the money, though, isn't it? Whenever something does well, you always need sequels.
Yeah. I mean, even Bill Murray's kind of like given in a way because he keeps popping up in these ones, doesn't he? These new ones.
They probably keep offering him a bigger paycheck.
I would imagine so. And I don't think Bill Murray has an agent. He just does it all himself. So you know, he probably just goes, "Oh, go on then, give me, I don't know, give me $3 million and I'll do your movie, you know, for 2 days' work or something, you know." But yeah, Ghostbusters, great movie.
Okay, so my number 4 pick is going to be from 1960.
Okay. It's interesting that these are all. You've picked a lot of classics. I mean, I know it's retrospection, and I know that we are picking movies that are from that era. we could have picked some modern ones. There are some modern ones that we both like.
We'll talk
about it at the end. Yeah, at the end. But yeah, go on.
Well, it's because my brain's been well trained, you see.
I only expose you to like
to the good stuff.
To the good stuff. Yeah.
So this is from 1960, and I'll say the director first because you'll get it instantly.
Mm-hmm.
It is directed by Alfred Hitchcock.
Okay.
And starring Anthony Perkins and Vera Miles, and it is Psycho.
Which we touched on a bit earlier with Halloween, but you didn't give anything away.
No, I thought I'd keep it on the down low first.
Great performance, Michael Caine.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so Psycho.
Yeah, so this, as we said earlier, this is the granddaddy of slasher films, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, Hitchcock as a director is just probably one of the best visionaries to have ever existed.
Mm-hmm.
And each shot in this film is meticulously, thought out, and it just, especially now on like 4K and Blu-ray, looks amazing.
Yeah, I mentioned this on the recent episode that we did with Wolfman, where I talked about black and white movies, and I was always of the mind that do you really need to see black and white movies in HD or Blu-ray? But honestly, you do. They look amazing, don't they?
Especially the shots where they're outside the motel, like when she pulls up in the car and it's raining.
The silhouette of the
and it's just amazing. And I mean, it's got. I won't spoil it in case anyone's not seen it, but
somebody might not have. You never know.
Exactly.
It's always someone's first time.
It's got some of the best twists in it, especially one at the very end, which I had no idea about whatsoever.
You really didn't know what the end was?
Nope.
You'd managed to avoid that?
I'd managed to. Well, you see, before I'd watched it, Psycho was always something I'd heard in conversation, but I'd never fully looked into.
Mm-hmm.
I always just thought, it's a good horror film that people always say is a classic, but I never, tried to, because with a lot of films I look up whatever it is before I've actually seen it.
Yeah.
But for this one I didn't, because I don't know what it was. It just didn't click in me at first until I watched it, and then I thought, this is a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Perkins in this film is just amazing in every scene.
Again, another troubled actor that probably, channeled some of that into it.
And I mean, just his facial expressions and the way he acts is just next level. Especially if you don't know what the twist is.
Yeah,
it's kind of he's very good at hiding it.
It's fun to re-watch Psycho, knowing what the twist is at the end, and then watch the performance from the beginning. The first time.
Because if you go in with that mindset, you know all the stuff that he's doing, and then it starts to make sense.
You can see all the little ticks and things that he's putting into the performance.
Some stuff that he says.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's probably one of the. I mean, this film is Patrick Bateman, Norman Bates.
Yeah, wrong guy.
Yeah, wrong guy. Well, see, Bate came. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Norman Bates, as a character, is obviously heavily based off of Ed Gein.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I mean, this isn't really a spoiler. His whole mother thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, he still makes it his own.
He does, yeah. It's only loosely based on the Ed Gein thing, anyway. In the same way that Texas Chainsaw Massacre and even The Killer in Silence of the Lambs is loosely based on Ed Gein.
Have you just picked those because those are the ones they show in that new one?
In that new one, and that's a conversation for another time.
But yeah, no, especially the double whammy it throws you at the beginning, where you think that she's going to be the main female in it, and then that shower scene happens, and then you're like, oh, she's not going to be in it throughout because it's marketed as if she's the main character.
Exactly, yeah. And I think I remember that Hitchcock at the time, once the doors were closed on a performance, they wouldn't let anyone in.
Yeah.
And they put billboards up saying, please don't spoil the end of this movie for anyone else.
Which, I mean, would have been a proper douche thing to do if you did.
It would, but can you imagine Psycho coming out in this day and age? It would have been spoiled in 10 minutes, wouldn't it?
You'd go on YouTube like 10 minutes after it came out and someone films it on their phone.
I would imagine it would have been easier in the outside world, in the wide world, at that time,
especially
to keep things secret because there's no internet and and consider the Hitchcock shot it using a TV crew. It wasn't a high budgeted movie. He just used his TV crew to make the movie he used for his TV show that he made at the time. And I think he only took on the job because he'd had a couple of movies that hadn't done well, and he needed a hit.
Yeah. And
he thought he could turn this into something that would be a hit. But I don't think his heart was in it at the first, to be honest. And look at what it turned out in. Yeah. I suggest as well that if you like Psycho, it spawned 3 sequels. There's Psycho 2, Psycho 3, and Psycho 4. Forget about 3 and 4, but Psycho 2 is a classic in its own right, and you need to watch that sometime because that's got another twist at the end that you will not see coming. I don't know if you spoiled it for yourself.
I haven't.
Don't. It's a different kind of movie than the original Psycho, but it does the same things that Psycho did.
Okay.
And you won't see it coming.
Okay.
The twist at the end of the movie.
Oh.
In some ways, it's a better... I know this is probably blasphemy to say it, but I think the twist at Psycho 2 is even better than the twist in Psycho.
Okay, Tarantino.
I know. Okay, so my 4th pick is... I like portmanteau or anthology movies, and I like a lot of the different ones, and I went backwards and forwards on which one I was going to put into my list. I went through all the Amicus movies, which I like, and I think you've seen one of those so far, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like movies like Cat's Eye or Twilight Zone, the movie, things like that. But the one that I've chosen is 1982's Creepshow.
Okay.
So this is basically 5 tales from a comic book that come to life in a way, and it's directed by George A. Romero from Night of the Living Dead fame.
Yep.
It stars so many people that you know from other things. Hal Holbrook, who you'll know from The Fog. Adrienne Barbeau, that you'll know from The Fog and Escape from New York.
So basically just John Carpenter, sloppy seconds.
It's kind of, yeah. Leslie Nielsen's in it.
Yeah.
The guy from the Naked Gun movies, playing a straight role, although he's kind of camp in it.
Yeah.
And even Stephen King's in it as well.
Oh.
I chose it because it really captures the look and feel of those old horror comics on which it's based from like the 50s, I think they are.
Yeah.
The ones that created the comics code. And parents went crazy because they were reading these horrible horror comics that, kids shouldn't be reading that.
But if you think about it, nowadays it's nothing compared to kind of comics that
I know, yeah. But back then they were revolutionary. And they were colourful, and they had humour in them. And this movie manages to capture the feel of those kind of stories really, really well. They're all fun. All the stories are fun.
Yeah.
You've got a husband taking revenge on his wife and her lover. You've got a twisted birthday, and you've got killer vegetation from space, which is which. Okay, Stephen King's in that story, and Stephen King is not an actor.
No,
I'll say that now. Yeah. Okay, but that kind of adds to the funness of it because he's pretty bad in it, but it's kind of funny.
Well, he's probably high off of
that in '82. He probably was. Yeah. The best story in it for me has to be a story called The Crate, which is about a mysterious box that they find under the stairs.
Okay.
I won't say any more because one day you might watch Creepshow, I think, and
I know,
I'll spoil it for you.
The only thing I know about Creepshow, I think this is Creepshow, is the scene with is it the cockroaches?
Yes, that's one of the stories. Yeah. That's a good one as well. That's probably the most disturbing story in it actually because it's just weird and gets under your skin and it's a bit nasty.
Well, literally. It's
just great fun, and it feels like a kid's idea of the perfect Halloween campfire tales.
Yeah,
I think, and it's just a movie that you can put on and you can just laugh, and it's a little bit scary, but it's just a good time. Yeah. You know, a lot of anthology movies I like because I think the reason why I like anthology movies is because you get little self-contained stories.
Yeah,
and because they're not. You don't necessarily have to have a hero and a villain, and anything can happen to anybody in these stories. The main character in that story could die, could not die. Anything can happen.
A good anthology film was the one that we watched recently.
Dr. Terror.
Yeah, that one.
Peter
Cushing.
Yeah, the Amicus one. That is a very good one. Because there's 4 or 5 stories. If you get a story that you're not particularly enjoy, and there's going to be another one in about 10 minutes that you might like. Yeah, Creepshow is one of the best, and I urge you to watch that one.
Okay. Right, so my final pick at number 5 is from 1996, and it is directed by Wes Craven and starring Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox and some other people as well. And that is Scream, the first one to be specific.
Oh, I'm kind of surprised that this has made your list.
I thought you would. I thought you would be surprised.
I did think that you liked it that much.
I liked the first one. I think is my favourite out of all of them. Because I think as they go on, it gets a bit muddled. But
it's like everything that goes on for too long, isn't it?
But the first one, I think, is the best one because it's a film that kind of jump started the whole meta horror movie type thing, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was revolutionary at the time.
I mean, it's as if like Wes Craven's poking fun at himself, even.
Well, he is, isn't he? I mean, isn't there a scene where he's playing a janitor in Dressed Like Freddy?
Yes, he's got a fedora on. Yeah. But yeah, and it's a film that, you know, keeps you. It's a good mystery film as well. Not only is it just like a good horror slasher film, it's a good mystery movie as well. Because if you know Scream, you know that there's never always just one person.
Yeah. You didn't know that though at the time in the first one. No. That's what made it good. That's what I enjoyed about it.
Yeah, and I mean,
did you figure it out the first time you watched it? Did you know who the killers were?
Well, you know this. Every time we watched a Scream film, I guessed who it was.
That is true. That is true.
About,
you did do that.
Like half an hour. I think I guessed it for about 1, 2, 3, and 4, maybe 5.
If memory serves, when we watched, this is not related to Scream, but when we watched the first Knives Out movie, didn't you kind of figure out who the killer was in that as well?
Yeah.
You got halfway there, I think. Didn't you? Yeah. Again, Scream owes a lot to Halloween, I think.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's literally a scene in it where they're watching Halloween.
That is true.
And he's going on about how stupid they all are in the film.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing about Scream is that there's a lot of iconic lines in it. That whole opening scene.
Which they never kind of... They always try and recapture that, don't they? But they never quite hit it in the same way that they did in that first one.
I think, is it the second or third one where they make it as if they've made a film out of it? It's the second one because
that all starts in the second one. It's Stab.
Yeah, and like Jada Pinkett Smith dies at the beginning.
Yeah, in the theater.
In the theater, where they're watching it, and it recreates the opening from the first one. But yeah, and the whole phone call thing has been done to death nowadays, and the whole quiz.
Yeah, it's become a trope now, isn't it? Yeah. But at the time, I remember seeing Scream when it came out, and I remember people literally screaming in the cinema for a movie called Scream. Was quite apt, really.
But this could just be me because I'm a psychopath, but it's not.
Probably not good to air that out to the world.
Just so you know, I'm not like deranged or anything. I'm just not anymore.
Take the pills.
Yeah, but I'm not easily bothered by things, and I don't think Scream is a very scary film. I mean, it's quite.
It's like what we said about slasher movies. Slasher movies aren't scary, I don't think.
No, it's just gore.
It is just gore,
pretty much.
And Scream is quite gory.
Yeah, I mean, it has its moments. Yeah.
I'm dying here, man. I remember laughing out loud in the cinema.
As a phone thrown in his head. But yeah, and like all the bait and switches that happen, where you think, oh, it could be this person, and it's not.
Yeah.
I think it's just well crafted as a film.
Yeah, definitely. Again, it's that case though of a franchise that's gone on for a little bit too long. Although I didn't mind the last couple. No. Not the last one, but the one before that.
Yeah. Well, there's a new one coming out.
Of course there is.
Is it at the end of this year or next year?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And that's also bringing back Neve Campbell again.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's only so many times you can bring her back. She's been in about all of them, apart from one.
It's that line from Die Hard 2 when Bruce Willis says, "I can the same shit happen to the same guy twice." Well, it's happened to her about 15 times now, hasn't it? So
she must do what like Laurie does in the Halloween sequel / reboot / new timeline thing, where she basically becomes like boarded up in her house. She must do that. I mean, I know in the second one she's like got PTSD of every time she gets a phone call. But surely you've got like weaponry on you. You must be like preparing.
You would become a prepper, wouldn't you?
You would,
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, Scream.
So,
all right.
That's my final pick.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure that I would put Scream in my top 10.
Yeah.
Probably just on the outside, maybe around about the 11, 12 area. But I could think of 10 more films that I like more than Scream. Yeah. But it's interesting that you put it in there. Okay. So my final pick, which I've had to change because we realised that we doubled up on one.
Yeah.
So if I can't have Halloween, which I can because someone got there before me, I'm going to go the unconventional route, and I'm going to pick Halloween 3, Season of the Witch from 1982.
Okay.
So basically, if you don't know what the story of Halloween 3 is, it doesn't feature Michael Myers.
No, on a TV screen.
He's on a TV screen, yeah. And basically what it is kids all over America want these silver shamrock Halloween masks. And our hero, played by Tom Atkins, he uncovers a plot that something nefarious is going on with these masks. Yeah. I mean, what can you say? It doesn't... Okay, it wasn't well received at the time. It's been reappraised over the years, Halloween 3. And as a standalone movie, I think if it didn't have the Halloween moniker on it, it would just be considered to be a classic horror film.
Yeah, because I feel like because it had the Halloween title on it, people were disappointed that it didn't have Michael Myers in it. Because he'd kind of already been put in this bubble of iconic slasher villains.
It's interesting to me as well because this was John Carpenter's... It's not directed by John Carpenter. No. It's written by John Carpenter and the director as well, who is Tommy Lee Wallace that you'll know connected to the Halloween franchise anyway.
He was the costume.
He was involved in it, something like that, yeah.
Who's also the kid.
Yeah, they took the name from it, yeah. And John Carpenter wanted the Halloween thing, if it was going to become a franchise, he wanted it to be like a little bit like what American Horror Story is in seasons, where each season is a different self-contained story that features different characters and is completely unconnected to the previous one. So this is what Halloween would have been if he'd have got his wish, whereas you'd have had the one with Michael Myers, and then you would never see Michael Myers again. No, that was never going to happen. And I think because it was marketed as Halloween 3, people were disappointed because it didn't have that character in it.
Yeah.
But there's some great stuff in Halloween 3.
Oh, yeah.
You watched Halloween 3. You watched it with me, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it, yeah. Because I feel like, because I'd seen all the other ones, I wasn't in the mindset of, it's not got Michael Myers in. I just went into it as, its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that kind of enhanced the experience because I wasn't let down by it.
Yeah. You knew that you weren't getting Michael Myers. And I think if you go in with that, and just forget about the fact that it's Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween movie. It's set at Halloween.
Just call it Season of the Witch.
Yeah, that's what it should have been called.
Yeah.
It should have just been called Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
And, Tom Atkins is great in it. It also stars Dan O'Hara. I can never say this guy's name. Dan O'Hara. He's on that guy.
Dan O'Hara.
Him, that's it. I should have done the Bruce Campbell thing again. And he's a great villain in it.
Also, fun fact, I can't remember the character's name, but the guy that Tom Atkins has a fight with, and he punches him in the stomach, and the orange stuff comes out of his mouth. That is Michael Myers in Halloween 2.
Dick Warlock.
Yep.
And that's not a health condition. That's the name of the guy.
That is his name.
Dick Warlock.
Yeah. I couldn't remember his name, but he plays Michael Myers in Halloween 2.
It's the score's great. Mm-hmm. It's another one of John Carpenter's two-fingered sin scores that he does. And it's it's another great Halloween movie. I don't mean a Halloween movie. I mean just generally a Halloween movie. It's something that you can put on a dark night, on Halloween night, turn all the lights down, and the combination of the weird, freaky music and that scene. There's a scene in it. I don't know if you remember, because we watched it a while ago. The scene where they're testing out the masks.
Yes.
On that family in that room.
Yeah. And all the the maggots and stuff start crawling.
And they force Tom Atkins' character to watch it all, don't they?
It's quite brutal and horrific.
It's nasty, isn't it? You don't
Especially since you know that it's kids as well.
Kids dying on screen, you know.
Which is very rare.
In a horrible way, although John Carpenter's got prior. You know, yeah. You haven't seen Assault on Precinct 13 yet. No, yet. We'll get there. Yeah, so I think it's a really good, solid horror movie. Mm-hmm. Just don't go in expecting Michael Myers, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, no, I'd agree.
So that's our 5 picks, all done and dusted. As I said before, we could have thrown some modern movies in, but because this is retrospection, we didn't. But if we're going to do some honourable mentions of modern ones, I would throw Weapons in there, which you haven't seen yet, which I hope you're going to at some point. Yep. And a movie that we saw recently, which technically I suppose isn't a horror movie, but it's written based on a Stephen King book, which is The Long Walk. Yep. I really enjoyed that. Mm-hmm. And Sinners as well, which was a great movie earlier in the year. Yep. What would some of your honourable mentions be?
I've also got 3 honourable mentions. Mm-hmm. One being 2017's It.
Interesting.
With Bill Skarsgård. Mm-hmm. Another one being, I'd say, probably the modern Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm. It's been a good year for horror. We've had Sinners, we've had Weapons, we've had The Long Walk. Yeah. And I'm sure that there's been some.
There's other ones.
There's other ones as well. And you're like me though. You don't tend to watch a lot of modern stuff.
No, I'll tell you what. An honourable mention is probably the first Christopher Lee Dracula. I'd say.
That would be in my top 10 if I did a 10. But you know, I probably would have put it in my top 5. But I couldn't have 2 Dracula movies. No. I had to pick one. You know? Yeah. But yeah, that first Dracula movie is the colours, the look of it, and the first time you ever see Dracula with fangs. Yep. As well.
Bela Lugosi's doesn't have fangs.
Can you imagine? It's that whole Psycho thing of, can you imagine? Well, you can, because you saw it and you didn't know the twist of Psycho, which blows my mind. I'd love to experience Psycho and not know what was going to happen. But can you imagine being an audience member in 1958? 58 when the original Dracula
I think so.
Came out. Never having seen, all that you're used to of Dracula is black and white Bela Lugosi. Yeah. And then Christopher Lee comes on, blood dripping fangs, snarling,
big red eyes,
leaping across tables because he's huge, isn't he? And he's so physical in that role.
6'4".
Yeah, and he's just, you know, when he grabs you, you know, you're done for.
Especially not Dracula, but Peter Cushing as well. Mm-hmm. That scene where he leaps onto the table, runs across it, and jumps onto the curtains to pull him down. That's him doing that.
Yeah, which was his idea.
Yeah,
to do that.
But I mean, it adds to it because it's more, you know, suspenseful because he's running across the table.
It's visual, isn't it? Yeah. It's more visual than and I think in the original script he just pulled a cross out from his jacket and held it up. Yeah. Whereas he suggested to the director, why don't I just grab these 2 candlesticks and slap them together? Again, it makes the scene, doesn't it? It's a great movie. That would have been in my top 5. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for this spooky edition of Retrospection. Thank you for listening. Please take the time to rate and review us if you can. It really does help us out. And if you want to contact us for an idea for something that you want us to cover, let us know. We're available on X or whatever you want to call it these days. We're on Facebook. I think we're on pretty much everything else going. And if you'd like to help us out a little bit more, please consider joining our Patreon, where you'll be able to access special episodes and extra content that you'll find there. There's new stuff going up all the time. We've got episodes where me and Colin talk about what we've watched recently. And me and you are going to be doing some stuff for it as well.
Mm-hmm. Some original stuff.
So check that out if you want to. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, Jay, for helping me out this week.
No problem. I'm always here to haunt you in any way that I can.
Yeah, I'll remember to bang on a coffin next time we need you and get you up, you know.
I'll go back into my slumber now.
Yeah, go back to your crypt. Yeah. So until next time, have a great Halloween. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.